We don't want to try to get away from his wrestling. We want to him up in his game. You can't think that you're going to beat my guy.
I'm going to shock the world once again. Like every other time, and everybody said, it's impossible, not this guy, not this guy. And I'm going to go out there and you're going to see the boogeyman.
UFC 319 is all set to take place on August 16, and the fans can't wait to witness the highly anticipated clash between Dricus Du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev for the middleweight belt. Meanwhile, Dricus Du Plessis' head coach fired a strong message at Khamzat Chimaev, saying they aren't trying to avoid his wrestling but plan to dominate him instead. He claimed Chimaev only faces opponents who try to escape his wrestling, but their game plan is to confront him directly and overwhelm him. The coach dismissed Chimaev's striking as one-dimensional and said it poses no threat to them. In his words, they aren't worried about Chimaev, they are the real challenge.
Khamzat doesn't know what it is when people want to wrestle him. He's only facing guys who's trying to get away from his wrestling. We don't want to try to get away from his wrestling. We want to him up in his game. You can't think that you're going to beat my guy coming with one thing, and that's wrestling. That guy's one-dimensional. Have you seen his stand-up? I won't even give him a pro license for his stand-up. He doesn't present any problem for us. We are the problem.
Current champ Dricus Du Plessis has already declared that his upcoming bout would be another defining moment in his career. While giving credit to his opponent's abilities, he insisted that the outcome would once again defy expectations. He claimed the fighter many feared would crumble on fight night, and when the dust settled, the middleweight division would be left with only one real threat, who is DDP himself.
He is a special fighter. He's incredibly good. But jeez, I can't wait. This win for me is going to be history. I am going out there and I'm going to shock the world once again. Like every other time, and everybody said, it's impossible, not this guy, not this guy. And I'm going to go out there and you're going to see the boogeyman. You're going to see him break. You're going to see him break in there. And then realize there's only one boogeyman, and that's me. In the middleweight division, there can be only one boogeyman, and that will be me.
Dricus Du Plessis dismissed the notion that Khamzat Chimaev's wrestling would be the deciding factor, insisting that MMA was far more than just one discipline. While he respected Chimaev's elite grappling, he pointed out that every top fighter was world-class in their own area. Du Plessis emphasized that they were battling for the UFC belt, not a wrestling title, and when every element of the sport was considered, he believed he stood as the superior overall fighter.
Khamzat is really known for his relentless pressure. He's an elite grappler as well. What can you exploit against him?
Yeah, I mean, Khamzat obviously world-class wrestling, grappling, but you know, this level of the sport, everybody's world-class. You know, this is not grappling or wrestling, this is MMA. And that's where I'm gonna exploit, is being the best in my, we're not fighting for a wrestling title, we're not fighting for a grappling title, we are fighting for the UFC title. And that's where I am the best. I'm not the best wrestler, I'm not the best grappler or best striker, but when you put all of those things together, if you combine it and that's the sport we do, I am the best in the world.
Meanwhile, Khamzat Chimaev spoke about his upcoming fight and praised Dricus Du Plessis for taking the matchup instead of avoiding it like others had. He said Du Plessis had been calling for the fight even before his last bout, which earned his respect. Chimaev mentioned that many fighters had tried to run from him, so hearing the champion openly seek the challenge was something he valued.
I don't know, I believe him. When I've talked to him about it, and I remember even before he fought his last fight, he was saying, I want that guy. I want Khamzat. I want the guy that people think is the scary guy.
Respect that. So not everyone saying that, you know. So a lot of guys was running away from me, you know. So he gets the champ and he says I want to fight him. It's good. Respect. And what I can say about it. It's good for me.
Yeah, it is. And,
On the other hand, Chael Sonnen shared that a win over Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 319 could elevate Dricus Du Plessis into the top 3 pound-for-pound rankings. He felt that an impressive showing would place Dricus alongside Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, making a top 3 spot realistic.
And if Dricus can go out and look good and get the win over Chimaev, I just think that ranking, he all of a sudden is going to be flirting with Islam's space and Ilya's space. He's going to be flirting with the top 3. And I think that's the only way that we know how to compliment him in our industry. We give him a belt, we give him a main event, and then we give him a little bit more. And that top 3 placing pound for pound is very within reach right now for Dricus.
Chael Sonnen previously said Khamzat Chimaev deserved to be the favorite and would likely win, though he was unsure how. He questioned whether Chimaev could control Dricus Du Plessis on the ground and viewed the first round as critical. Sonnen felt that if Du Plessis stopped the early takedowns, the momentum could shift toward him.
Is it a surprise that Chimaev is a favorite? No, I would expect him to be. But I also feel as though if I were predicting this today, I would lean Chimaev. As long as you didn't ask me a follow-up question. Like if I told you, hey, I think Chimaev's going to beat Dricus. Okay, great. If we all get up and walk out of the room, we're fine. The problem is if you're going to ask me how. How is he going to beat him? Because I am not fully confident that Chimaev can take him down at will. I'm not fully confident he can keep him there. We're going to know in the very first round. If Dricus gets taken down in the first round, things are going to unravel very quickly. But if he can defend a takedown for the entire first 5 minutes, it's only going to get easier to stay on your feet after that. It's an exciting match. I would expect Chimaev to be the favorite. And he is.
However, Dricus Du Plessis acknowledged the hype around Khamzat Chimaev, admitting that the praise and recognition Chimaev receives is well earned. He described Chimaev as a rare talent who lives up to his reputation. Still, Du Plessis maintained that while Chimaev is undeniably great, his own abilities are far greater than many give him credit for.
Is he overrated in your opinion?
No. I think he's
worthy of all the praise. He's worthy of all the praise and everything that he receives.
Absolutely. I think Khamzat is a special fighter.
From the moment Dricus Du Plessis first witnessed Khamzat Chimaev in the octagon, he thought Chimaev had the makings of a star. He remembered a long stretch when Chimaev was sidelined for nearly 2 years, making headlines more for his constant trash talk and challenges across weight classes than for actual fights. Du Plessis said the endless callouts grew tiresome, yet he still rated Chimaev highly. However, he maintained that while Chimaev lives up to the hype, his own abilities surpass what most people expect.
Yeah, from the first time I saw him fight, I knew this guy was going to be special. 100%. I knew he was going to be special. There was a stage where he didn't fight for like 2 years or something. And listen, he speaks a lot more than he fights. I can tell you that much too. But there was a long period of time he was calling out every single person. That just started getting annoying. It was annoying the shit out of me. Because he was calling out welterweights, middleweights, light heavyweights, but he wasn't fighting anyone. But there was never ever a stage where I went, this guy's overrated. No, he is as good as people think. I think he's as good as people think. I just think I'm a lot better than people think.
Meanwhile, Michael Bisping praised Khamzat Chimaev's wrestling, noting his ability to shoot far from out and still secure takedowns with speed and power. He felt Chimaev's explosiveness and strength made him almost impossible to stop once he got hold of an opponent.
Khamzat Chimaev is just ridiculous, right? The wrestling on this guy is phenomenal. The way that he shoots a double leg and closes and covers so much distance, it's wild. He shoots from so far out that it shouldn't work, but he's so explosive and so powerful, he makes it work. He closes the distance, and all he needs to do is get a hold of you. So I assume that Khamzat is also ridiculously strong as well, because he's fast, powerful, he's explosive, he's got good wrestling, and if he gets his hands on you, you're going down.
Michael Bisping said Khamzat Chimaev had shown signs of tiring in the fast, but still fought aggressively due to his confidence in finishing fights quickly. He explained that Chimaev believed he only needed a minute or two, or at most 1 round to end a fight by submission or knockout. Bisping called him a special fighter, but admitted cardio could be a concern, noting that Chimaev had brought in a new strength and conditioning coach and was pushing himself to the limit.
Khamzat Chimaev has got tired in the past, but he still chooses to fight the same way. That's because he believes in his ability. He believes that all he needs is a minute or 2 minutes, or certainly at tops 1 round with a guy, and he will put them down and he will finish them. And if he doesn't submit them, then he will knock them out. This is the self-belief that Khamzat Chimaev has. He is a very special fighter. However, the cardio could be an issue. We've spoken about that at length. He's got a new strength and conditioning coach. He's pushing himself to the limit.
Caio Borralho also admitted he had often underestimated Dricus Du Plessis in the past, but Du Plessis kept proving him wrong. However, he felt Khamzat Chimaev posed a unique challenge that fighters often misread. Borralho explained that Chimaev blended wrestling with jiu-jitsu to create his own system rather than relying in traditional wrestling. He believed winning this fight would require preparation for Khamzat's specific style, not just a wrestler, and he wasn't sure if Du Plessis would be ready for it.
Actually, right now, it's hard to bet against DDP because he always shut my mouth, you know? I always bet against him and he always shut my mouth. So it's hard to bet against him, but it's hard to bet against Khamzat. It's just gonna be how prepared to the Khamzat style. That is not a wrestling style, it's a different thing. That's the mistake that people do a lot. They prepare to fight against a wrestler, and Khamzat it's not pure wrestling. He has a system. He does something different. He puts jiu-jitsu on the wrestling, so he needs to be well prepared, not against a wrestler, but against this Khamzat style. And I don't know if he's gonna be ready for that.
Caio Borralho believed the matchup could end quickly, similar to Dricus Du Plessis' win over Robert Whittaker. However, he also felt that if the fight reached the later rounds, Du Plessis might begin to take control.
I feel that this fight can be as fast as the Whittaker fight. Like, really.
Oh, wow.
I think this fight can be really, really fast. But I can see this fight going to the second, the third round, and then I see some advantage for Dricus, you know what I mean?
Furthermore, Sean Strickland said Dricus Du Plessis would need to be prepared for a relentless ground pressure to beat Khamzat Chimaev. He believed Dricus had the better striking, but felt Chimaev's grappling was on another level. Strickland questioned whether Dricus had faced that kind of wrestling before and warned it could throw him off. He added that if Dricus could handle that pressure, he would have a real chance to win.
Well, go on then, you got to give me your thoughts on Dricus Khamzat, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. So I sparred. I mean, I fought Dricus, I fought Dricus, I fought... Dricus has better stand-up than Chimaev, but Chimaev has a pretty crazy grappling. Now, I've been training with these daggy terrorists my entire life, so it's like I train with these... I know how to get up from these guys. I can withstand the storm. I don't know if he's encountered that level of wrestling to where it might get him a little off guard. But if he could handle it, get up and work his way up. I mean, it's kind of hard because, like, I mean, it's a long time ago, but Brad took him down and held him down. Actually took him down. But Brad took him down and held him down. So it's like, he just really has to be ready for an extreme amount of pressure on the ground. And if he can withstand that, he's unbeaten.
Sean Strickland also reflected on his history training with Khamzat Chimaev, bringing up moments that made him doubt Chimaev's mindset. He recounted being there when Chimaev, after battling COVID, briefly thought about retirement and said he mocked him for it during practice. Strickland claimed Chimaev often picked sparring partners who posed less of a threat, framing it as a sign of avoiding real tests. In his views, Chimaev lacked the mental toughness needed to thrive under pressure.
Chimaev is just I mean, I was here when he retired from COVID. You know, I was training with him. Like, he's just you know, it's like, if you knew, I always say there's guys, if you knew on a personal level you wouldn't like, Chimaev is one of those people if you knew you wouldn't like. You know, he'll come in here. There's a video of me, I always like, oh, you're so good. Come up, understand, you're better than everybody. So just don't hurt people. Like, I'm being sarcastic, like, bro, like, you go and you starch this one-on-one guy when there's like Edmund, there's like high-level UFC fighters, and you're picking the one-on-one fighter because like you think he's the same height as your opponent. No, you're picking him because you're dude. Like, it's just, yeah, he's just like, no, he could fight, but like mentally he's just a weak man. You know, he's just a weak man.
However, Khamzat Chimaev fired back at Sean Strickland's remarks by calling him out for a face-to-face showdown now that he's back in the US. He accused Strickland of staying silent while Chimaev was in Vegas, but only speaking up after his visa troubles. With Chimaev now in LA, he challenged Strickland to meet up if there is a real issue to settle.
I don't know, when I was there, they even never said anything, you know. when I leave the Vegas and when they stop my visa, we start to talk. When I come back, I'm in LA, bro. Come on. If it's something personal for you, just come. I'm here whenever he wants.
Former welterweight champion Belal Muhammad predicted Khamzat Chimaev would defeat Dricus Du Plessis. Arguing that many overlook Chimaev's cardio, he agreed with Khabib Nurmagomedov that Chimaev could succeed if he chose to strike. While calling DDP awkward but hittable, Belal noted that Chimaev's constant pressure often wears opponents down. He stressed the need for Chimaev to manage his pace in a 5-round fight, but ultimately picked him to win, believing he is sharper both standing and on the ground.
Who do I got, DDP or Chimaev? Honestly, I mean, I think too many people are counting out Chimaev's cardio. I think where Khabib said it best, if he stands up with him and strikes with him, I think he'll do well. DDP is an awkward style, but he does get hit a lot. And he breaks a lot of guys with fatigue. If Chimaev doesn't come out super hard in the first round, trying to take him down and letting out all his energy, I think he'll be fine if he keeps it standing. And then maybe the later rounds you try to wear on him a little bit, but you don't want to go out for that kill in the first round. And DDP just plays defensively. He's strong, obviously, and then you end up burning yourself out for 4 rounds. So he needs to be smart, especially in this 5-round fight. But I got Chimaev. I think Chimaev's a lot crisper on the feet and definitely crisper on the ground.
After a landing in Chicago, Belal Muhammad also took a jab at Dricus Du Plessis by calling it his own city and saying the South African wasn't welcome. He joked that even if Dricus Du Plessis needed food or a place to train, he wouldn't get any help from him. Belal also urged locals to make sure Dricus knew he wasn't wanted, finishing with words of encouragement for Khamzat Chimaev.
Also, heard Dricus in Chicago. Bro, this is my city. Big card next week. Huge main event. You need anything from Chicago, food, groceries, therapist, cage, gym, sauna. Make sure you don't hit me up. You're not welcome here. Chicago, you see him, you let him know. You don't like his kind. Go Khamzat.
Moreover, Brendan Schwab described Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus Du Plessis as a huge matchup, largely because of Dricus' size and resilience. He noted that an early finish from Khamzat would come as no surprise, but his real interest lay in seeing how Khamzat would fare if the fight dragged into the later rounds. Schwab highlighted that both men bring something unique, with neither having faced an opponent quite like the other, adding to the intrigue of the bout.
Khamzat's big, right? Khamzat's big. DDP's my size. I don't know if you know.
No way.
You seen the picture of him in Bisping? Bisping's a big dude. DDP dwarfs big. DDP walks around about 240. The first round, of course, if Khamzat wins, and if it ends before 2 rounds, it's Khamzat all day. I would extend that after seeing this to even the first 3 rounds. 4 and 5 is what I want to see. I want to see Khamzat in the 4th and 5th. And if Khamzat's lighting his ass up, because DDP is going to be tough to finish. So if Khamzat's in the 4th and 5th finish him, then you got one. So for Khamzat, it's going to be dealing with that mass.
Who has DDP fought that's even close to that style, that explosive, shoot from 10 feet out, grab you, not let go till he gets what he wants?
That's why it's a great fight. Oh, because DDP hasn't fought anybody like Khamzat, and Khamzat hasn't fought anybody like DDP.
The MMA guru also broke down Dricus Du Plessis' chances against Khamzat Chimaev and said he could see Du Plessis winning. He pointed to Du Plessis' most underrated skill and noted how well he scrambled from the bottom. Guru said Du Plessis would not simply accept being mounted and was skilled at rolling for leg locks to escape bad positions or take the back. He emphasized that Du Plessis' ground game was better than many realized and could play a big role in the fight.
Who do you think wins, Dricus or Khamzat, and what do you think the finishing sequence would look like? I could see Dricus winning. Chat, yes or no, most underrated part of Dricus Du Plessis' game, jiu-jitsu. He actually scrambles really well from bottom position, really well. He's not going to let himself get mounted. He'll roll for like a leg and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? He'll roll for a leg, threaten a heel hook, and then use it to get back up and try and get back control. Like, he's actually really good at that shit.
Kenny Florian emphasized Khamzat Chimaev's ability to start fast and overwhelm opponents, agreeing with Brian Petrie's view that he might be among the most dangerous first-round fighters in the UFC history. He used Chimaev's rapid dismantling of Robert Whittaker as an example, saying that whether through striking or grappling, Chimaev has the tools to end a fight almost immediately. Kenny Florian discussed how the fight might shift if an opponent managed to withstand Chimaev's early onslaught. He expected the opening rounds to be all-out chaos, but Chimaev's relentless pressure, but felt their true challenge would come in the later stages. In his view, grinding out a decision would reveal more about a fighter's complete skill set than ending it quickly. What intrigued him most was the uncertainty of how their contrasting styles could unfold across 5 rounds.
And Brian Petrie and I were talking about this, but Petrie was saying he's probably the best first-round fighter in UFC history, and he could be right. And people forget, we just saw him, crush the jaw of Robert Whittaker. Yes, he can do that as well. So he can take you down and maul you. He can submit you, and he can knock your ass out on the feet as well. And he can do it in a blink of an eye. That's how explosive Khamzat Chimaev is.
Meanwhile, Jared Cannonier kept his stance neutral, explaining that he's moved away from making fight predictions. He acknowledged that both Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis possess top-tier skills, making the results unpredictable. For Cannonier, the excitement came from watching 2 elite fighters compete rather than picking a side.
If DDP is able to survive the early rounds against that whirlwind juggernaut in Khamzat Chimaev, that's when the fight gets really interesting to me. And I said this, and I've been thinking about this a lot. If Khamzat is able to win the fight by decision, that would be more impressive to me than in an early finish against DDP. But dude, that fight can go so many different ways. That's what makes this sport and the UFC so intriguing. I can't wait for that damn.
So, that's all we have from today's video, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. Share your thoughts about Khamzat versus DDP's matchup in the comments section, and subscribe to our channel to get more updates about their upcoming clash.